What is up, everybody? Isaac Punts, Isaac Parks, back here again. Today we got something special. The NFL season's over. We're in the postseason, not the preseason, obviously. And today we're going to be ranking every single NFL punter who is starting at the end of the 2021 season, because there's a little shuffle around. Some guys lost their jobs, some guys kept their job. Anyway, we're going to be talking about it. We've got 5 different categories to rank these punters in. We've got Hall of Famers, okay, and we're going off of this season's performance. So if there's a guy that doesn't usually perform that well that had a very good season, I'm going to say he's a Hall of Famer. If there's a guy that usually performs really well that had an okay season, I'm going to say he's elite. If there's usually a guy that's terrible and had a great season, he's still a Hall of Famer. I don't care. If there's a guy that's will be on the Hall of Fame but had a terrible season, I'm going to put him as underperforming or on the chopping block. We'll see. Anyway, let's get right back into it. So the first guy that we got here, we got Mr. AJ Cole. As you know, AJ Cole went to the Pro Bowl. He was an All-Pro. He has had a very good season, averaged like 50 plus yards per punt. I think it's like 51. And he's like watching his film. Every game looks like a highlight tape. He has very good control of the ball. He's a nice, very clean, tight spiral. So he's going Hall of Fame, baby. Let's get Mr. Cole up in that Hall of Fame category. He had a great season. Next is Andy Lee. There's somebody who's been in my comments constantly being like, is Andy Lee a Hall of Famer? He's been solid. He was solid against the Rams the other day, right? We're not really going to take postseason into too much consideration, but, they're not in the postseason anymore because they lost. But he was solid, so I don't hate his performance. I'm going to say good. It was a good performance. It was a good year for him, okay? Next, we've got Mr. Brian Anger. Guys, Brian is a beast. The 2 best punters in the league got out this year in the first round of playoffs. I was hoping for them to kind of face off in like one final match. When Brian Anger and AJ Cole punted against each other, it was a fireworks show. These guys popped off. Anyway, Brian Anger, absolute beast. Might even make it into the real Hall of Fame easily. For the old heads in the comments, yeah, this guy, better than Ray Guy. He's a better punter than Ray. I'm going to say he's a better punter than Ray Guy. Take that as you will. Anyway, Hall of Fame. Great performance. Blake mother-freaking Gillikin out of Penn State. Dude had a phenomenal year. He had one game where he downed 3 punts inside the 5, which is cool, but all of them went out of bounds, which means he actually placed them inside the 5 instead of just hitting a little end over end ball and having it bounce up and have somebody run under and catch it. He actually put it inside the 5. So that's insane. That being said, he's elite. Elite. Very much so elite punter. Next, we've got Mr. Braden Mann. Braden Mann, he's been consistent. It's New York. It's the Jets. They kind of suck. So, in turn, he's not allowed to be that good. But himself, he's had a pretty good year. Okay? He's had a pretty good year. So, we'll put him in good. We're going to put him above Andy Lee. Andy Lee didn't really make too many headlines this year. Neither did Braden Mann. Whatever. We'll put him less than Andy Lee. Andy Lee's a 19-year veteran. We'll let him stay in there. Andy looks like Buddy's on his last leg there. Brother is old. 19 years in the league. I've barely been alive for much more than 19 years. Next, Bradley Pinion. Oh, Brad, man. Brad. My guy. You can hit such a great ball, but you can also, nobody else in the league shanks it just quite like he does. I think this season he had 4 shanks. That's not quite chopping block. And for as good as the rest of that he can do, the fact that he shanks it so much, once again, not chopping block, but dude, if you're a big ball, if you can put a 60-yard punt out of bounds on the 2 in the first play of the season, you should be freaking Hall of Fame. But now I think you underperformed because you just kept shanking it. You just kept shanking it. Underperformed, Bradley. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. Okay, next, Cameron Johnston. He's actually been really solid. He's been really solid for the Texans this year. The only thing I don't like, and hopefully I can find a clip and put it up on screen, is he drops it like this, right? So he runs and he drops it. It's very Australian. It's a super Australian thing to do. The only thing more Australian would be maybe owning a kangaroo. Something about shrimp on a Barbie. But he very Australianly puts that ball up there and just kind of runs and kicks it. He does some other Aussie things. He honestly had a pretty good year. I like watching him punt, but I think he's just good. I think he's going to be the top of the good. I don't think anybody's going to be gooder than him unless they're elite, if that makes sense. So he's going to be on the top of the good. Oh, that's Logan Cook. Haha. Okay, so Logan Cook, dude, he's nice with it. I wasn't sold. I'm gonna put him at elite. I'm just gonna go ahead and spoiler alert. He's elite. I wasn't sold until he was doing the thing with a towel. He's literally holding the towel, wipes his face, right? Probably did a little light skin. You know what I'm saying? And then boom, right as the snap comes, he throws the towel, he catches it, hits a banana ball fade right. Oh, that was nice, Logan Cook. That was nice. So you are elite, my good sir. Corey Bajorquez, playing for the Packers. So Corey, he's been okay. He's been okay. He hit the longest punt this season. He hit an 85-yarder. That's pretty good. I take that. I take that any day of the week. So he also had a couple shanks. I heard his holds are kind of iffy. I like Corey, but I hold the bar for Corey really high. And for where I hold him to, for what I can see, from what I've seen from him, and how good he can be, I'm gonna say he underperformed. So don't shoot me. I'm just saying I think he could be so much better than what he performed this season, and hopefully he agrees. Not trying to be mean. You probably underperformed less than Bradley. Brett Kern, obviously, one of the best to ever do it. Very solid punter. Cannot say anything bad about Mr. Brett here. That being said, he was good. He was good this season. Jake freaking Bailey, baby. Okay, so Jake, he's just elite. There's nothing else I can say about that. I think Gillikin had a better season. I think overall Bailey's the better punter. At least he's shown himself more consistently throughout his couple years. But I think Gillikin had a better season. But he's still top. He's still on top. Next, for the Rams, baby. This guy, talk about underperforming. First of all, let me just say this. I love this punter. He's freaking great. He's going to be one of the best. He's not going to get cut. He's not even close to getting cut. But I don't know. I feel like he's had some shanks. He's tried to be like really, really cutesy with his trick punts. Can't say I've loved watching him punt this year, although I do usually like watching him punt. Unfortunately, I'm going to say he's underperformed, but he might be the top of the underperformers. Because he didn't have a bad season, but it's like he's so good and it just wasn't phenomenal. Next, Kevin Huber, really good. Just been a very solid, consistent, top-level punter for forever, okay? So that's no surprise. Probably right there with Andy Lee, right? These guys don't miss. They've been in the league for 18, 19 years. Cook's probably going to be somewhere with them. Just been around forever. Lachlan Edwards had to come in for the Panthers after they had a little shuffle around with their specialists. Lachlan, he's been good. He's been good. He's done pretty good for himself. Kind of some down the middle punts, he's just playing, but he's just playing. Can't fault him for that. I'll put you above Braden, man. I'll put you above Braden. Next, Matt Hack. Hack, bro. You've had some good games. You've had some good punts. But it's like your bad punts have been, I don't have to tell you. You're a professional. You know this. I don't need to say anything else. Without further ado, though, hopefully you have a pretty good playoff run and hit some good punts. If Josh Allen decides to let you step on the field, make the most of it. That's all I can say there. Michael Dixon, GOAT, Godfather, boop. Did he have a better season than Gillikin? He had to punt a lot more than Gillikin did. But Dixon had a shank. Gillikin did not. Neither did Jake Bailey. No, Jake Bailey did, but it was like really windy. It was like 50 miles an hour. Okay, we'll put him above Bailey. Not sure if that's going to ruffle some feathers so that he's not in the elite Hall of Fame tier, but he punted a lot. He had a lot of punts. He was on kind of an underperforming team. He's good. He's elite. I think in the grand scheme of thing, he's a Hall of Famer. For this year, he's elite. Okay? Fight me. Pat freaking O'Donnell. Pat's been good. Pat's been really good. He had a game where he had like 4 60-plus yard punts. He's had his moments, as we all have, so you can't fault him. But let's see, all in all, he's been good. I don't think he underperformed. I think he's kind of like in this category with everybody else. I'll put him like right below Kern. Seems pretty fair. Presley. Okay, so Presley Harvin has shown flashes of brilliance, right? Dude has made some highlights, but he's also made some Steelers fans kind of want to rip their hair out. And watching, I did like all my shanks of his division. Buddy made up a hefty proportion of those. So because of that, with all the love in my heart, he's kind of, he's got to really step it up. He had a really good, for what it's worth, he had a really good performance in the playoffs. And this doesn't necessarily mean he's going to get cut. I think it likely means they're going to bring in maybe a little heavier competition this offseason. But I think, he had a lot of outstanding factors going on in his life. So I'm going to assume that played a big part. Does that change the outcome? Unfortunately not. It's a cutthroat business. But do I think he'll have better years in front of him? Yes. Very, very easily yes. Next, Riley Dixon. Riley, stud. Just a performer, right? Always, nonstop, really consistent guy. Don't know what else to say. He's been in the league for a good little bit, so he's up here with like these guys that just never miss. And maybe that's the problem. I'm only saying they're good. If they're like rookies or having a breakout year, maybe I say they're elite. They've been in here so long, I expect this from them. I don't know what to tell you. Riley Dixon is very solid. I'm going to put him, I'm going to go right above Huber. Right above Huber. Good old Kevin. Sam Cook. One of those guys, man. Admittedly, do I think he's kind of down here? A little underperforming for what he can usually do. I have watched every single punt this man did this year. He had some really good ones. He had a lot of returns. He had a couple miss hits towards the middle. He had a couple pretty bad hits in there too, admittedly. He had a pin that just did not go well. The ball was on like the 40, and he put it on like the 19. Take that for what it's worth. I'll put him kind of here with the underperformers. Once again, it's only because these guys are here because the bar's so high, right? They're not here because I think they're bad. Let's make that clear. They're not bad. They just underperform where the bar is. Sam Martin for the Broncos. Now watching Sam, he's not bad. Not a bad punt. Punt's pretty good. Did he wow me this year? Did he he had some punts that did, definitely. He also had some punts that underperformed. Had some games where he underperformed, really. And he's kind of in the pinnacle peak. You're in Denver, bro. You're in Colorado. Everything should be a little bit higher. Underperformed. It's not bad. It's not terrible. He didn't have he's not getting cut. But they're going to bring in competition, probably. Rigo. Man doesn't miss, bro. Very good performer. That being said, made a whole thing on his punting style. Very clean, crisp, has it wrapped up nice and tight. Does it very well. It's not sexy. I feel like everybody above him in the good category has hit a couple more sexy punts. He didn't miss any, right? Buddy has not had a miss, but everybody else has had that sexy punt, if that makes sense. Where they've hit one you went, oh yeah, NFL. Rigo's had good punts. He's had really good punts, in fact. But the same thing that, I don't think he'll ever leave the good category. Unless he goes more spirals, he's just not going to leave the good category. Very solid. Very solid. Sipos, that last playoff game and that game before, I've heard from all your fans, bro, you've been solid all season. Last two games, need something big there. And like a miscarriage, you just didn't deliver. Is that bad? Is that a bad joke? Let me know. If it is, I'm really sorry. Anyway, we're going to go... You might be in more hot water than Presley, because Presley's a rookie. I guess so are you. I'll put you in the same category. All three of these guys. I say chopping block, just because I think they're going to have competition, but not so bad that I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. I think they're going to have some competition in the offseason, but all of these guys can keep their job if they just kick up to their potential. I just think they're the farthest away from kicking to their potential, if that makes sense. Okay, Thomas Morstead, GOAT, comes in, was cut, bounced around from team to team, gets back. Player of the month? Special teams? Huh? November? Yeah, anyway, elite. Didn't get to play as much, so I'm going to put him bottom of the elites. Maybe this is biased because I love Morstead, but Tommy Townsend. I have such a love-hate relationship with Townsend. The whole Townsend family, they're good. They're really good. I don't know why. Every time I watch them, I feel like I always catch their worst game. The last playoff game, was not fun for me to watch on his end. I turned on one game with the announcer curse video. That was like the one punt I watched from him. Right? I was like, oh, let me see how the Townsends are doing. Oh, he shanked one. Okay, like, I can't catch a break. It's nothing against him. I think the gods just don't want me to watch you perform well. Your stats look good, but every time I watch you, you underperform. So I literally have to put you in underperform, probably beneath Bajorquez. Get a 35-yard average in a playoff game. I don't know, man. You're good. He's a good punter. Tress freaking way. Dude's a beast. No misses. Perfect punt on the 1 yard line when you're getting blown out by 50. Why not? Huh? Why not? Dude's good. Dude's elite even. Dude's elite. Elite even. Top category. Boom. And last but not least, Ty Long. I really don't know how to feel about Ty Long. He had a game with a 26-yard average. That's what I know. Has some good punts. He has some return yards on him, right? Net average isn't great. Has some punts down inside the 20. He's just a guy. He's an NFL guy. The fact that I'm saying he's just a guy, I'm going to say underperformed. Top of the underperformed, though. Top of the underperformed so far. For what it's worth. Let me go figure out who these last jokers are. Dustin Colquitt. Bounce around from team to team. It's sad. Him, Morstead. He's part of this little aging group right here. Cook, Morstead, Andy Lee, Kevin Huber. Like, these guys are getting old. It's, some of these guys who have been solid with their teams for, like, decades, it feels like. Well, obviously not decades, but for years, are getting cut and bouncing around from team to team. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really sad. It's like watching a quarterback past his prime just try to keep playing and just end up playing for the Colts and not even making a playoff run. And that was hard to watch. Phillip Rivers. But Dustin, he had a pretty good season. He had some shanks. He's actually now the bottom of the goods. Here we go, Jack Fox. I think Jack Fox is probably like the biggest leg in the NFL. If he unloads on it. If he catches one. But he doesn't always do that. In fact, he's had some shanks. So you go in the underperforming category. Because for as good as he can be, he doesn't always do it. I think you did less than these three. Because these three in the underperforming, like, they didn't do anything bad. They just weren't, like, stellar. I don't know what else to say about that. Okay, Pilardi. It's a party, it's Pilardi. From what I know this man to be, he's good. He's solid. Do you guys think he's elite? I don't know. I don't think so, personally. I think he's good. He's kind of like in this category. We'll say like right around here. Finally, Mitch Wishnowski, who kind of looks like Oscar Dragovich. Is that weird? He kind of does. Just that's who he reminds me of. Anyway, let's put him. Kind of, he did good. He's like in this range too. I don't know what else to say. Is he worse than Colquitt? Better than Colquitt? Nah, he's with like these guys. Above Lackland. Nah, he's like with Riley Dixon. He did good. Okay, so last guy is Jordan Berry. Got cut by the Steelers for Harvin. In hindsight, I know they want to keep Harvin around for a while and let him develop. But for this season, kind of hurt them. Because I think Jordan Berry did very good. In fact, I think he was actually kind of in the elite category. Every time I watch Berry, played very well. I'm not even going to say it. You know what I was going to say. Anyway, yeah, probably in like this area, above Morstead. Okay, there we have it. That's my 32 NFL punters ranked from Hall of Fame to on the chopping block. Tell me what you think in the comments. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and peace.